Hello everyone, this is Tim, and this is going to be a video about everything that went wrong with the three Hobbit movies that Peter Jackson put out. There's a good amount of stuff that I just didn't approve of. I really want to go through those movies with like a digital pair of scissors and just cut out all the scenes, recut it. I know there are some fan edits out there, but I haven't been able to find one yet, so I'm still looking. So if you happen to have a fan edit of the Hobbit movies, feel free to let me know where that is. So the whole crack the plates, cleanup scene with the hobbits, in the hobbits' home with the dwarves, yeah, that was just over the top, too much. Yes, it's in kind of the spirit of the books, but again, I think with the CGI stuff, they just take things too far. It's unrealistic. It's sort of video gaming in a lot of respects. I didn't care for it. Radagast the Brown, one of the Istari, one of my actual favorite characters. I really enjoy the theme of that wizard. You know, the animals, plants. There's five wizards. If you didn't know that, other than Gandalf and Saruman, Radagast. There's the two blue wizards that went off into the east. But I didn't like that he was just comic relief. He was sort of like Gimli in the Lord of the Rings, but uh, just not funny. I some of the stuff, the creative license they took, like the bird crapping on his head. Okay, I can kind of go with that, but the rabbits, uh, the Rustabill Raz, or I can't remember what they're called, but they're just ridiculous. The sleigh, it's so bad. I cringed so hard in the theater when that scene came up. Ugh. All the Bomber fat jokes and the silliness of the dwarves is another thing that. Yes, Bomber is fat. Yes, he is a bit of a comic relief in the books, but oh, come on. Ugh, so bad. The Stone Giant scene was a bit over dramatic in places, but other than that, it was pretty well done. I kind of like the CGI of that. Um, some of the dwarf costumes and the hair, I think by trying to make them each distinct and unique, uh, they just made them look ridiculous. Like in all the times I've ever played in like Dungeons and Dragons campaign, fantasy campaigns, um, I didn't think of dwarves looking like that with like the hair sticking out, and it's almost like there was normal looking dwarves and then just dwarves that you just wanted to just get a digital eraser and just erase them. So I don't know, just weird makeup, weird hair. It was like fake hair too, so uh, I don't know. I just didn't care for it. It looked like when you have a fantasy campaign, you don't really think about, uh, dwarves having like hairspray and poofing it up and stuff. So that was bad. The Goblin King singing. While I kind of like the way they did the Goblin King in some of his scenes, that no, erase that. The over-the-top fight slash chase scene from the goblins. Again, it just felt like I was watching someone play a video game. Too much. Just the CGI orcs in general. I don't know why they got away from what worked with Lord of the Rings. Maybe because of costs, but all the actors wearing the orc makeup and so forth in the first movies, I think was really well done. And yeah, they just didn't do it for a lot of the orcs in this, and a lot of the goblins and so forth. And I just thought it just failed. Um, the only exception to that would be like Azog. I think they did him pretty well. Um, again, felt like a video game. The falling platform scene after they were trying to get away from the goblins in the mountains. Again, just ridiculous. Took me out of the moment. I wasn't invested in what was happening. In a lot of the scenes of this movie, it was just I wanted to just get on with it already. Let's move past this. Let's do something else. All right, second Hobbit movie. There's gonna be some background noise. Over the top elf antics, gravity defying stuff. Yes, Legolas can walk on the snow, but oh dear, dear God, they did so many things with the elves. It just made me cringe. The barrel rider scene with Legolas standing on top of the dwarf heads. No, please just kill that with acid and fire. So bad. The bomber scene where he's rolling and bouncing and sticking his arms out of the barrel. It's so bad. Oh, it like hurts to go down through this list. I'm getting flashbacks. Uh, the Black Arrow, yeah, I don't know why they needed to do that, but the change instead of a normal arrow, they had to make it like a like a giant crossbow, giant whatever. Uh, okay, that isn't terrible, but I probably would have preferred it just to be a single, sort of like a David and Goliath, Bard versus Smaug sort of thing. But whatever. That's not too bad. The forge scene, Thorin on a gold surfboard, like Hang Ten. Here comes the dwarves. Terrible. The giant gold dwarf. At first I thought they were gonna do some sort of golem, like made out of gold. Have some sort of, whatever. I don't know. That would have been really outside the confines of what was in the book. But yeah, he really didn't do anything. There was a gold dwarf there. They pulled it. The gold runs everywhere. It's hot gold. Maybe Smog even liked that. Maybe that was like him taking a bath. And he gets out there, shakes it all off. There's like little gold fragments all over the place, and then he goes on to the town like it did nothing. It was pointless. The only cool thing that maybe happened after that was that the whole floor was covered in gold. Later when in the third movie when Thorin was going a little crazy with the dragon sickness. But other than that, it was just a waste of time. All right, third movie, over dramatic Thorin dragon sickness, like I was just talking about. They just took it too far. I like some of the way they handled it. Yes, he's obsessed with gold, so that kind of goes with dwarves. Um, the Arkenstone I can see, but again, they just took things too far in a lot of respects, and that was one of them. Over the top battle scenes, again, gravity defying CGI, unrealistic in many ways. I just didn't care for it. Alfred Lickspittle and the Master. Again, they just felt like caricatures. They didn't really feel like real people. Uh, it's almost like they needed another Grime of Wormtongue, so they wanted to get that guy in there. I don't know. It was, again, just kind of a waste of time. It felt more like watching a Warhammer battle scene of miniatures on a table than it felt like The Hobbit. Uh, Again, just sort of over the top. Yeah, that's pretty much. If you had to sum this up, all these movies in one word, just over the top antics. Just over the top. Physics breaking maneuvers. I think it was Dane, one of the dwarves, was moving around his warhammer like it weighed, like a pound. That thing was ridiculous. And it was the third movie was kind of going okay. My expectations had already been lowered by the first two movies. And then sort of like the last third of the third movie, it just like it was going okay, and then it just went straight downhill. It just, I actually didn't buy the third film, and for me that's saying something. I bought the first two, I got those on my shelf. Third movie, I'm like, what? I'm not even excited about this thing. Uh, I'm gonna rent it from Netflix. I still don't own it, so. I mean, with a guy whose name is Samwise7, you think that I would own like every Hobbit thing, but I'm not really a book purist. Like I'm watching Game of Thrones right now, and they're deviating, and I'm still enjoying it. But oh, this just maybe I maybe I am just a little bit of a book purist or something. Just the choices that they made were just really you could have gone with that, and that's what you went with. It's just it was painful. It was painful to watch the last third of the film. Um, I mentioned Dane's fighting with his warhammer. That was ridiculous. The whole Thorin versus Azog thing was, they could have cut that down, and it's so much smaller than it was. They dragged that out. The false death. I'm coming back. I didn't care at that point. So while Azog I think was actually really good overall, the whole death scene with him it was really poorly done. So that's all the gripes I have. I could also point out that Legolas ruins every single Lord of the Rings movie for me, especially like the live action ones. The animated ones, not really, but if it's anything live action and Legolas is involved, it's probably a scene that I hate. In the Lord of the Rings films, Legolas is sliding down on the shield. sliding down the elephant's trunk, doing just some just asinine, like what the fuck? He's like a cartoon character. It's ridiculous. And whatever ridiculousness was in the Lord of the Rings movies, they cranked that shit up to 11 in the Hobbit movies, and it totally turned me off. Like, ah. So it's painful for me that all these terrible scenes just really just bring the whole movie down, because there are some amazing scenes. Like every time I hear the dwarves sing in the first Hobbit movie, I get chills. It's just really well done. It's close to the book. There's other scenes too where the actor for Thorin really comes across. He does a great job. Some of the other dwarves, I think, have some moments where they shine through. I really just need to find a fan edit and just get rid of all the bullshit. There's just so much bullshit in these movies. Ugh. So yeah, Legolas scenes, they ruin it for me. All these over the top action scenes. It's just too much cinematic. I can do this cool shit with CGI. I think when you get back to like the older, like the original Star Wars movies, I think there's a reason that they're good in that they don't have that ability to just do these crazy things with computers. They had to base it in reality. So, almost forgot. The Legolas scene when he's climbing up the blocks that are falling. Holy shit! I think that might be the worst scene in all three of those Hobbit movies. All Lord of the Rings / Hobbit movies, really, because it's just like I broke. There was something in my brain that just broke, and like blood started coming out my nose and my ass. It was so bad. Like, oh my god, that's terrible. Who decided that was going to be a good idea? So, uh, so while I like in quotes the Hobbit movies, at least parts of them, scenes of them, there's so much badness. It's like someone just stabbed me in the heart about 10 times. I think they're done, and then they come back and get me from the back. Ugh. So yeah, that's my little rant on the Hobbit movies. I hope you're still here. Thanks for watching. I'm sorry that you had to sit through those scenes too, just like I did in those movies. So yeah, please send me a private message if there's a fan edit out there that condenses these movies, gets out some of the bullshit. That'd be great. Some of the scenes that were included from the setting of Middle Earth, like the Saruman and Lady Galadriel, I didn't actually mind those. Those were kind of nice. See, that's the kind of stuff I would have liked to have seen in these movies, but they just added so much else. So yeah, that's it. I'm done.